Hey guys, it is me, Adam Selvig. Um, this video is going to be very, very troubling to do because I have to tell the truth. This has to be spreaded out. I don't care whether you agree with me or disagree with me or despise me. This has got to stop. Uh, on 6 days ago, on September 10th, we lost a innocent soul, a hardworking soul. Now, in some time ago, I made a video called "Sonic is in Danger." Well, that stance still exists. My position still stands on that, what I mentioned in that video. But now it's come to a whole new perspective. I have been changed. I have changed. I am very, very extremely radicalized in a sense where I have lost so much patience, tolerance for some people, and I am not going to feel sorry about it. I do not feel at most sense of empathy or sympathy or any more reason to go on. What happened on September 10th was an assassination. Someone who I supported in a political sense. That's right. I am talking politics on this video. And regardless whether this video makes big amount of anything, I don't care. I am going to spread the truth. And if anyone who hates the truth, despises the truth, or refuses to accept the truth, you are the problem. I do not give a flying fuck. And so, who was the assassin? Who was assassinated? This man, Charlie Kirk, conservative activist, pro-American advocate, hardworking man, father, husband, and no longer with us. He was assassinated on September 10th at a college on Utah University, Valley University. I believe that's what it's called. He was brutally assassinated. Someone had a sniper and shot him. And this is not going to be pleasant because a lot of people are celebrating his death. And I'm going to call every fucking idiot, every moron, every stupid idiot who thinks it's okay. It's perfectly okay to celebrate it, celebrates it, advocates for it, condone it. I don't care. You are the most problematic person on this planet. You're insane who belongs in an insane asylum. See, I have followed Charlie Kirk and his work for over 5 years. At least probably counting 5 years. And all he did was bring tables and open mic and debated people. Have civil, friendly conversations. He allowed people to speak. He allowed people to express their opinions, their views, or beliefs on anything that came to their mind. I can name a few subjects: transgenderism, abortion, Second Amendment, First Amendment, Constitution, the country itself, what's going on in China, Russia, Ukraine, all of that. All of that kind of stuff. And he got assassinated because he spoke the truth. He told the truth and he got assassinated for it. People are advocating for the death of this man and celebrating it as if it's the next coming. I cannot tell you how anybody who thinks that it was okay for that to happen should, in fact, be punished. And just to prove it, I got a full set of videos that we are going to react and talk about for probably the next few hours, maybe. I am going to probably bring this be very short when it comes to these videos because not only should my audience do what is right, but what is very important. Do not be afraid to speak your mind. Do not be afraid to speak out against people who will disagree with you. This is what these people do. These people have done so much dark shit that if they are going to continue on this direction, they are going to destroy us because we have a political sense that they do not agree with. And so the feeling is mutual. I had been, ever since I saw his assassination came out on YouTube, I could not sleep. I was up all night ever since it happened. I had nothing more but a fury woke inside of me where I am no longer the same person. I am very less tolerant. I have some things that I've changed about. For example, I am no longer a free speech advocate for people who are going to spew very, very stupid, evil speeches. People who choose to spew words that are that don't even legally constitute the First Amendment, they don't deserve to have the ability to speak. And I cannot tell you how infuriating it was to witness this. And so, we are going to start with what's something that bugged me since this morning. A artist who is part of the Sonic the Hedgehog IDW comics is cheering for the death of Charlie Kirk. I do not buy IDW comics. I have not bought comics. I have never cared about comics. Comics are probably one of the most irrelevant thing in my life, and maybe I should be buying them because they're Sonic, but I am committing a full-on boycott for anything that advocates or wishes for the death of Charlie to be celebrated, accepted, or not even condemned. And so I have some videos that we're going to react about when it comes to all of this, because some context before we get started. The people that are advocating for the death of Charlie are the very same people that are within pop culture. For example, movies, video games, comics, entertainment, all kinds of form of pop culture. The very same people who are radicalizing themselves, who are pushing the same woke agendas that have been pushed in Hollywood the last 5+ years. In my video of Sonic is in danger, I've talked about exactly what I've been talking about. Those same people are advocating for the death of Charlie Kirk because of his conservative values. In fact, this man was also a devoted Christian. He was so biblically devoted to God and Jesus, the Holy Spirit. I am going to work on being more biblically connected with God even more. I bought, no sooner than like a few months ago, thanks to Charlie, I bought myself an American flag to hang on my house no sooner than a few months later after I first bought the home. And through him, I have learned so much about being a patriot. I have learned so much more through him than I've learned through school, through my parents, through everybody else when it came to American history. Until this very day, I've had some things that I might have disagreed with Charlie in. For example, a dating video that he was on, a dating podcast, where he said that we men should go into debt on the first date. I do not agree with that, because I do not think that we should go into debt just because the first date. If you do not have the money to go on the first date, then you should not go. Plain and simple. That is my stance, and it really is not that hard. Like, I strongly have a lot of opinions about other people that I disagree with. Like, for example, to be relevant to this channel, Sonic the Hedgehog. Who's the better voice actor, Jason Griffith or Roger Craig Smith? Jason Griffith, of course, because he is so much better of a voice actor for Sonic and Shadow and Jet. I could not think of anyone else who could do it. I think our current voice cast needs to be replaced. I think Roger needs to be replaced. I think Kirk Thornton needs to be replaced. I think the entire Sonic voice cast needs to be replaced and bring back the Sonic 4Kids era of Sonic. Plain and simple. Why? Because I think they were so much better. They had better voice delivery, vocal delivery. They've offered so much more better to the table, and they just had so much more to offer. It's like when Peter Cullen, who is the voice of Optimus Prime, passes on, I will never look at Transformers the same again. I do not have any idea who else could play Optimus other than Peter Cullen. He is the Optimus Prime. Frank Welker is the Megatron of all Transformers. I do not care. You cannot convince me otherwise to think differently other than what I've said. And so, we are going to go ahead and react to some videos about Charlie Kirk and video game companies, pop culture, firing people for losing their jobs for celebrating his death. And you know what? After this video, I'm going to make a video I should have made a while ago. I will get to that after this, but for now, I want to say my prayers to Charlie's family who lost him since the assassination, and I deeply feel a broken soul because of how powerful he was. They did not silence him. They hated him because he had speech they hated. The woke far left has gone out of hand. That is who I'm talking about. The woke left will do anything to you for having a difference of opinion. I was doxxed once just for saying that men do not belong in women's sports. And it's true. Women do not want men in their private spaces. And here's the thing. In the video I made about Sonic and Danger, I do not care if gay people exist or trans people existing. There is a moral compass behind the two things. For one, being gay is, in fact, a sin. Two, transgenders are mentally disturbed people. Now, that does not mean that they could be sane. There are some trans people out there that are even condemning people who are advocating for the death of Charlie. I'm not going to name names because I am trying to properly process this still, and it's been a baffling whole week. So, we're going to go ahead and start with what my biggest fear came true. Woke individuals have infiltrated pop culture, and they are even in Sonic the Hedgehog. So we're going to react to maybe a few minutes, the first 5 minutes of the YouTube channel Yellow Flash, Sega artist in deep shit after mocking Charlie Kirk fans, Sonic the Hedgehog Crossworlds hurt. I commented on this earlier this morning, and from the looks of it, this guy said that whoever the artist is for IDW Comics doesn't work for Sega, so I will give this a pass. So, let's go ahead and get started.
Let's talk about Sonic the Hedgehog a little bit here and Sega, because I wonder if they know who's working on their brands over here in America. We're going to take a look at an IDW comic book creator who's working on Sonic the Hedgehog right now and what they had to say about Charlie Kirk. So I've been talking about the comic book industry since I started YouTube years ago. That's how I got into this, because I was fed up with these people destroying the comic book industry. Now, in some cases,
these are the same people that are in the comic book industry, video games, movies, that are advocating for the death of Charlie. And to further prove this, I'll actually bring up another video about this where a comic book artist got fired from and had to recall a particular comics about it. So that's on the table. Damn bugs. So let's go ahead.
Things are a little bit better now, but that's only in terms of quality of the product. There's actually a few good comic books that you can pick up now. There's still some bad ones, but there's some better ones out there now. But there's still a lot of nasty people that work in comics. I don't know if that's changed that much because you still see stuff like this. So you have this Sonic the Hedgehog artist, Gigi Dutrix. And this person is celebrating what happened to Charlie Kirk.
This is the definition of a fucking piece of shit. Anyone who celebrates the death of someone who if you politically disagree, or even pop culture, you're a fucking piece of shit. You are a scumbag. You are the lowest of the low. You do not have any reason to be part of pop culture. You have no reason to be part of anything. And it is so disturbing that when I saw this video this morning, I was very close on having the conversation of deciding on whether if I should leave the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. But luckily, this one individual right here mentioned that the person only works for IDW Comics. So I will give Sega a pass for the time being. But I'm calling for a boycott from any company that supports the death of someone who you politically disagree with or any kind of form of disagreement. Regardless whether it's politics, pop culture, or anything else. Let's continue.
Now, what's interesting about this is I think this person must have got quite the stern talking to, which is already more than you would have seen years ago. Because years ago, they didn't do shit. They would just let it ride. But in this case, this artist locked down their account. In fact, this is what the account is called now. Archive account. Everything has changed. There's no more picture of her. And changed the name and locked it down.
Looks like a
and I guess the posts were deleted.
Deleting your posts about celebrating the death of someone just proves that you're afraid of backlash. You're afraid to face the consequences of your own stupid actions. As exactly that. In fact, right down here, on the Timcast is another political channel. It looks like Elon Musk calls for the arrest of liberals for calling for death of Charlie Kirk. I can't really see the whole title because of that. But see, this is the problem with any kind of anything at all in this day of age, because if the death of someone who you disagree with is somehow should be celebrated, is mental disturbance in a whole new level.
So I'm guessing this person got in trouble. But that's temporary.
That looks like a dude.
I'm telling you, the people in the comic book industry are some of the most vile people you will ever come across. They are hard to the leftists. Just about all of them. In fact, there's not very many people on the right anymore because they ran a lot of them out.
Yeah, this is true because this has happened in movie companies. Like, for example, some time ago, there was the Gina Carano case where she said what is objectively true about Nazi Germany, the Holocaust, and she got blacklisted from Disney. She got completely kicked out because she spoke the truth. The situation became so bad that Disney tried to plead her to come back, and it was I don't know if Gina Carano went back. I don't know if she still is, but Elon Musk even chose to fund her legal fees, her lawsuit against Disney for the hypocrisy of not having pronouns in her social media accounts. Like, this is how woke our society has become, because if you need to have pronouns in your biology of your bio of your social media accounts because of the woke ideologies of infinite genders is happening, yeah, no. I'm just gonna stick with either male or female, and if you have a problem with being called what you biologically are, then tough shit. Get over yourself. You're not the most important person on this planet. You are not the most relevant person on the planet in this point. So
They ran a lot of them out. The talent doesn't matter. What matters is the way you think.
yep,
These
Exactly.
people are nasty, disgusting people, and it's part of the reason why comics fell into a pit. I don't know financially how much better the industry is doing, but it was not doing well a couple of years ago, and it's still really not doing that great because comic book shops are still closing. And part of that is
That's
because
sad.
of people like this. So I don't read the current run of Sonic the Hedgehog. I used to like the Archie books when I was a kid. There was a lot of fun stuff in those comics. But I haven't kept up with them in years. And I'm assuming, there's still an audience there. But I'm wondering, do they agree with what this person is saying and doing? We can take a look at some of these tweets here that she put out there. If you want to pause and take a look at some of them right here. This is some nasty shit. And I wonder, because you have to go above IDW. See, IDW has people like Heather Antos who love this kind of thinking. They're big fans of it.
yeah, like literally, I am seeing exactly the reason why. And regardless whether if you even have, I mean, if you already have a rainbow and they them pronouns in your bio, you're already exactly proving why wokeness does not belong. And I bet you the YouTube channel Go Get 413 is probably still going to make a nuisance of itself, trying to find some excuse to screen record anything about me, about this video, because I do not agree with anything that's been happening here. People like this do not belong in pop culture. Advocating for the death of someone like Charlie Kirk because of political differences proves how much of a vile piece of shit you are. I do not care at this point whether you agree or disagree. If you think that advocation for the death of someone for anyone who you don't like, whether if they agree, disagree on something, especially disagreeing, you're a worthless piece of shit. I have no profanity filter anymore. I have become less tolerant at this point. I have become less where I have no reason to debate any of these far woke, insane individuals because they refuse to listen. They have zero rational ability to comprehend anything that comes out of their dumbass mouth. And it literally shows it. It literally shows it. It literally shows it. I cannot tell you. And so, of course, we're going to go ahead and also bring up Clownfish TV, who is talking about this. And I also support their work. And I'm just going to give you a little context here. Clownfish TV, Neon and Geeky Sparkles, they are, in fact, Democrats. But now, thanks to the assassination of Charlie Kirk, they moved to the center or to the right. Now, the death of Charlie Kirk has made even some leftists, centrists move to the conservative side because of the assassin. If you are going to advocate for the murder of someone who you disagree with and hate for the speech that they say, you are the very reason why your political party is unlikable. In fact, there is a video I watched earlier talk about why was it that when Charlie was assassinated, why did the kind of protests why did riots not happen? Chaos and destruction happen. It's because the Conservative Party is the sane party. They are the morally righteous party. They are the party that has no emotional response. They're the party that doesn't base anything on their feelings. So, as the title suggests, gamers blacklist devs who celebrated Charlie Kirk's murder. So let's get to it.
Out to news.clownfishtv.com. That's news.clownfishtv.com. Get notifications of when we post new videos out there. And also, you can check out the audio version of the podcast on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, wherever you listen to podcasts. Spreading out a little bit. We're going to mansplain and womansplain.
Yeah, I was going to say, excuse me. Go ahead. So anyway,
Well, what that means is
that means you're going to walk with a permanent limp. Anyway,
let's talk about this. So, I've seen a lot of tweets about, and good on, like, look, I'm going to say it again. I know people get pissed at me for, the both side isms or whatever it is.
I don't really care if people were pissed about the both side isms, because it's true. If someone was killed on the other side, not saying that they would do that, because clearly they aren't choosing violence. But if someone was batshit enough to do it, we'd be saying the same things.
Absolutely. In this case, I mean, this is a whole nother level. This isn't just we're having a political disagreement. This is like we literally think it's cool to kill people in public. Oh my God. But I will give props to any company that has, probably a mostly left-leaning staff that comes out and says, hey, murder and political assassination, yeah, those things are wrong, and we will deal with our employees.
That's because they're worried they're going to take a hit financially.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
No pun
Absolutely
intended.
they are. But beyond that, like, you're not making yourself look any better by openly celebrating murder and death and domestic terrorism. This is Microsoft had it. They said, we're aware of the views expressed by a small subset of our employees regarding recent events. We take matters like this very seriously, and we are currently reviewing each individual situation. Comments celebrating violence against anyone are unacceptable and do not align with our values. That's good. These companies, again, a lot of these companies are definitely left-wing. Nobody's asking you to eulogize Charlie Kirk if you didn't like him, but for God's sake, if you can't say anything nice, just keep your mouth shut. Just be like, oh, okay. That's all you got to do. But when they're actually out there, like Gretchen Wieners or whatever the hell her name was over at DC Comics, and they're out there like, yeah, I hope the bullet didn't get cooties from him. That's, it's like, what the hell are you doing? And no company wants to be associated with people that think it's cool to murder people over political disagreements.
Well, only because some people probably personally think it is, but they don't want their company to take a hit.
Yeah. And that's going to segue right into this. That's going to segue right into this. Grums put it up, a link to it, but apparently Bethesda's batshit crazy. There's some devs over there.
Shocker.
Oh my God. Yeah. And Cosmic Book News, I think, said that he talked to I think it's Matt McGloin. He said he talked to a Bethesda developer before the election in 2016. And it was very obvious they were very, very far left, and they were trying to like single him out because they thought he was like a closet Trump supporter.
Yeah,
or
I was
something.
reading it because everybody else was making fun of him and he didn't. That one guy got in his face and was like screaming at him, but he has to be a Trump supporter. And then I guess the guy said, "Well, you might want to take it outside." Then he was like, kind of situation.
Yeah, but I've noticed that the terminology has changed ever since. It was very. Since it's very cool to hate Jewish people now, and
that's what I'm saying, because then that makes them those people.
The very people that I have shown you so far, they are double standard hypocrites. They never practice what they preach. They always say they're the tolerant, loving party. But when they hear something that doesn't align to their views or where they disagree, it leads to violence. And I cannot tell you how completely infuriating it is that we have to deal with this. So, of course, it led to where I have a few clips of Charlie Kirk and what he did for a living. What he did to prove why Charlie's assassination was not only not justified, but proves that everything that I have said so far is exactly proving my point. So, just to point this out, this is a gay conservative, and Charlie is going to prove exactly everybody wrong on what people have called him for. They called Charlie Kirk someone who would want to stone gays, which is not true. So let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and start this.
Gay conservative, and I just want to kind of ask you, like, what do you have to say for people like me who kind of feel like, I guess, it's kind of hard for gay conservatives because there's not a lot of us. So, like, what do you have to say to other gay people who need to realize, like, they do have a choice? Like,
Yeah, first of all, welcome to the conservative movement. I don't think you should introduce yourself just based on your sexual
no,
attractions.
I agree. I like
because that's not who you are.
I like to be thought of as a person, and
For sure, you are a complete human being, and I'm sure you treat people well, and you're studying something. So I want to get away with this idea that you're gay anything. I just think that we have gone a long way in the negative direction in this country, where we act as if the most important part of your identity is what you do in the bedroom. It doesn't mean that much to me, but if you ask from a perspective as a Christian, I don't agree with that lifestyle, but politics is about addition and multiplication. I imagine you agree with a lot of what we talk about.
Absolutely.
Right? Strong borders, strong country, and for that, we welcome you into the conservative movement.
thank you.
Exactly. Plain and simple. And just to prove all those morons out there who think I'm hating gays, he's the kind of gay I will strongly support. I don't care what you do in the bedroom. Just don't make it a public nuisance. Don't make it a public influence on children. Because people that I've shown you, and the Sega artist in Deep Shit, that person would be advocating for LGBT Pride Month in children classes. All the way from not as soon as elementary, as soon as kindergarten, all the way to high school. I know this because my kid brother has literally told me that there are those very same flags in schools. Some people think they're educational. What does Pride Month have anything to do with learning about math, science, history, language arts, actual art, and ability to rationally think for yourself, not how to think? These people don't care. These people don't think that you're a fascist Nazi for saying the truth. That's what these people think. And so here is another video, a 7-minute. We'll probably do like maybe the first few clips and like maybe the first 2 clips and move on. And this is why I picked this one. In my other YouTube channel, Go Get 413, made an argument about how creepy it is that Charlie Kirk went to colleges. Well, I'm going to debunk not only that idiot's claims, I'm going to show you evidence on exactly why Charlie did this. So let's get to it.
Do you feel proud of yourself for debating college kids who are unprepared to speak in front of an audience like yourself? Hold on. You're 30 years old. We can agree you're 30 years old, right? Do you think that's a little bit silly?
Are you a voter?
I am a voter. I'm a
So
registered
I
voter.
vote and you vote. So I'm talking to voters of this country that will determine the future of Western civilization. That's what I'm doing here today. Yeah? Wait, hold on. How is it any different than a professor talking to you?
Then a professor talking to you? Who are you?
Well, important enough for you to come up to a microphone.
You create a company.
That's literally what Charlie did. He was so important that even people like her, people like him, a lot of people, he was so important to get people to come up to a mic, an open mic, to allow them to speak. And Go Get 413 thinks it was creepy that someone like Charlie did what he did. I wouldn't be surprised if Go Get 413 even celebrates the death of Charlie Kirk. If he does, not only will I completely make a video to talk about exactly why he's a problematic person, but I will expose him for exactly being the very thing that I talked about in my Sonic is in Danger video. So, so for the second clip, let's go ahead and get to that.
Like close to being a fascist, and then like.
Okay. How am I?
Sorry.
Let's go through this. How am I a fascist?
Dude, like
Can you name one thing I believe that's fascist?
you believe that like you on shit. But
I'm such a bad fascist. I let the people who disagree in
Just-
open mic to talk to me for 2 hours uninterrupted.
Okay,
I'm an awful fascist. I'm more like a free speech liberal of the 1970s, not a fascist.
But I just want to say Turning Point USA is a evil company that was funded by thousands of fracking companies, and that
well,
just...
no, it's not thousands, but we do have some frackers that give us money. But we
Yeah,
have-
and then
we
all it is
but I don't know
making
how
the
we went
rich
from
more rich.
fascism to fracking.
That's
But-
all it is. That's all it is.
Okay, again, I'm happy to have a debate. I can see you're getting kind of fired up.
I'm sorry.
So, but why are we evil? Like, we're having a nice discussion.
Because
all of a
you
sudden,
want, I
you're
don't,
calling me like
because
a
it
fascist.
seems like you just want the rich get even more rich. Like,
we haven't talked about the rich at all. I mean, so you don't even know my positions on this stuff. Under no circumstances.
And I'm not really going to get into the that last section about Charlie and the rich people advocating for rich people, because you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to point this out. The far left think that conservatives are just getting rich and making people poor, like myself, who I work at a full-time job, and I make like $35,000 a year. And that individual, this guy, thinks that me voting for Donald Trump or supporting Charlie Kirk makes some group of people rich, which is falsely not even true. I'm not going to entirely get into that part, because the whole point of this clip was just to show you that what Charlie did for most of his living and debating future voters. That's literally what he did. And so to move on to what is more troubling, we're going to look at one of my other favorite political commentators, The Quartering, who, according to the title, liberal calls for death of conservatives live on TV over Charlie Kirk, Hassan Piker, and Destiny Band. So, a little context here to the title. Hassan Piker and Destiny are two far extreme, woke, radical, fascist Nazis who think that the death of conservatives is justifiable and should be okay. It's people like these two individuals are the very reason why I am no longer tolerant for these people. And here's something that I strongly think should happen for Charlie's assassin. The assassin of Charlie should get the death penalty. And it should be not only public, it should be all over the internet. It should be live for everybody to see. And today was supposed to be the day where the assassin got the charges. Details about that. I'm not going to really get into it. Like, the whole idea is to talk about something that is very serious. And to come back to the gay conservative short that I brought up, trans people, I don't hate you. Let's just be clear. I don't agree with your lifestyle. I don't think that you affirming yourself with an identity that doesn't exist or is not true should be enforced. It does not matter at this point, because if you can show me that you are a rational human being who condemns the murder of someone who you disagree with, we got no problem. We got nothing to beef about. Regardless whether if you disagree, only one side is the most sane group, and so far the conservative movement is the most sane group of people. So, to move on from my ranting, we are going to go ahead and listen to The Quartering talk about how exactly what I've been saying all video.
Remember, Hassan Piker was a Destiny fan. He grew to more popularity, but these guys are two of the same. They are two poisonous peas in the same rotten pod, but they are both completely audience captured. They can only say more and more heinous things, more and more violent things to continue to grow. They don't have any other choice. And people ask, are you surprised? Or what is your take on them saying this crazy stuff? It's not surprise. It's not even discussed. I've been covering these two losers for a long time. Nothing they say really offends me or shocks me. but it is a genuine concern for both men. I am afraid for Destiny and Hassan Piker. They have no off ramp. They can only espouse more and more violent rhetoric, more and more extreme views, and they have no off ramp, because if they dial it back even a little bit, they'll lose their audience.
That's literally what's been happening since Charlie got assassinated. People like Destiny and Hassan Piker of all the far left, like the Democrat Party, they have lost their mass majority of people because of Charlie's assassination. They realize their own party has been so bad. And regardless whether you are a Democrat, I mean, we can all agree that murder is wrong. And if you think that murder is okay, for anyone who has a political disagreement, you are a problematic human being. You don't even deserve to be called human. You deserve to be classified as mentally dangerous. You should be classified as a danger to human society.
Content creators suffer from this a little bit, right? I have people in my audience that will push back when I talk, when I push back against maybe a common idea. Like, there's a lot of conversation around Charlie Kirk and Israel, and there are people there that believe Israel did it. I think that's absurd, and there's no evidence whatsoever to prove that. And the only people that have tried to disprove me simply just say I'm wrong or that I need to look into it. And all I've ever asked for is a small piece of evidence. I've invited some of the biggest figureheads of this, group. Ian's welcome on my show. Nick is welcome on my show. They don't want to come. Nick's blocked me. So,
I mean, just from hearing that statement, it just proves that they do not want debate. They do not want to talk because they don't support free speech. The people that I've talked about, that the videos I've shown from The Flash, Charlie Kirk, the context of things, Clownfish TV, all what I have shown you is they hate free speech. They hate debate. They hate open dialogue. They hate having rational conversations because they know their own ideological worldviews are insane, problematically insane. For example, Snoop Dogg, who had about 2 weeks ago, I think 3 weeks ago, maybe a little bit longer, had came out and said that he is afraid to take his grandkids to see movies, specifically Disney movies, because of Lightyear. The moment the gay kiss scene happened, his grandkid could not stop talking about it. And he was put in a position where he did not have any idea what to talk about. And it just kept saying, just watch the movie, watch the movie. Questions kept on coming from the kid rather than just being quiet. See, this is why woke ideology itself has no place in pop culture. I will give Disney credit for at least telling Pixar to die down the gayness in Inside Out 2 and Elio. But those movies, well, I think it's probably Inside Out 2 probably was a success. Elio was probably a huge failure because it just looks dumb. I had no care about Disney movies anymore. I only care about the Disney movies I grew up with watching as a kid, like Aladdin, Snow White, Pinocchio, Toy Story 1, 2, Monsters, Inc. Basically, Disney movies that started from all the way from Snow White till Cars is where I care. Anything after that, I really did not give a shit for, with a few exceptions. Toy Story 3 is an exception. Cars 3 was an exception. It's all out there. Like, it just depends. Like, I just really do not care. I just prefer sticking with what I know that is actually good. And let's get back to this.
Oh, if I come out and speak against that, there are portions of my audience that say, hey, you're cucked, we don't like you. But that's okay. Like, I'm open to being corrected. Hey, if you have evidence, feel free to give it to me.
Hi, I'm Brett.
And I'm Jonathan.
This is Darla.
And this is Buddy.
We're the founders of The Farmer's Dog.
We've made an entirely new way to feed your dog.
It all started with my first dog.
I hate these ads.
But I'm also willing to offend my audience because I have to say the truth about who I am. That's why I started that second channel. The Jeremy Hambley channel is far more uncensored. But when he says, if you wanted Charlie Kirk to be alive, Donald Trump shouldn't have been president for the second term. Destiny says in the show, conservatives should expect to die if they vote for their preferred candidate. In another stream, he said conservatives need to fear being killed. And the left's only response to this is, you guys started it. You guys need to turn the temperature down. I don't see any people on the right calling for, Hassan Piker's life, right? And if they are, I disavow it. But there are hundreds of thousands on the left that call for Charlie Kirk's, Andy Ngo's, Matt Walsh's. This is not uncommon on the left.
Cox has made it.
Behavior contingent on Donald Trump.
Insane right now.
Why
do you think?
No,
let me ask a question.
On Donald Trump.
Let me ask a question.
Because he's the president of the United
States.
Donald Trump can't go on TV and say all of us need to calm down.
Right.
Context in this. This guy is Destiny. This guy is one of the biggest, wokest morons on the planet. He is so Trump deranged. He is so concerned that anything that happens with Trump, he must speak out. Context, even more. He did not feel sorry for Trump nearly getting assassinated. It's people like him that are problematic for society. And when Trump got nearly assassinated, someone else died in his place. And this man, this simp, this fucking retard, had no sympathy for the loss of a Trump supporter who got murdered that day. And he is not even upset of the fact that Charlie got assassinated. He's in fact calling for violence to anyone, for whoever you're politically affiliated with. He is telling us to fear his political party. I honestly would think he deserves the death penalty too, because I bet he is just as guilty of it as the assassin was.
Does he think the left, this is one of the biggest gaslighting things that the left does, right? Destiny's like, well, I'll disavow it if Donald Trump does. First of all, no, he won't. Second of all, he knows that the left doesn't listen to Donald Trump anyway.
Can you tell me why he cannot?
Why
tell
would you
his
expect
side
anybody,
to calm down?
Destiny?
You
What?
can't answer that. Can you answer that question? Why
Okay,
can't
can
Trump
you
go on
answer
TV
this
and say,
question?
all of us should be less violent?
Why do you
can't
think?
Trump say that?
Why do you
Why
think?
is your behavior contingent on Donald Trump?
Insane right now.
Why do you think? No,
Your
let me
behavior
ask a
contingent-
question.
More
So
young
when
men
you,
following
it
him.
doesn't matter.
Who
You
has
have a
more young-
huge
it doesn't
audience,
matter.
and because
This
of
is
the fact that
world
you have a
I'm
huge
living in,
audience,
and
you
your
have
brain
a
has been
responsibility
broken by
to
online
not turn.
rhetoric.
No,
And
it
your
hasn't.
brain
It
has
hasn't been
been
broken.
destroyed
I actually care
because
about the
people
country
bully you on
and want to
Twitter.
bring people together.
If
You do
then
the
you should tell
opposite.
Donald
You
Trump to tell
represent the
people
worst
to
of us,
be
Destiny.
less.
Out the crime statistics?
I mean,
not exactly like.
You need conservatives to be afraid of getting killed when they go to events so that they look to their leadership to turn down the temperature. The issue is right now, they don't.
But there aren't any leftists that are suffering this.
It's hilarious how someone like Destiny, of all people, will think that we need to turn it our side down when his side is advocating for the death of political opponents. In fact, I saw a video earlier before I started this, was as someone was going around asking people, why is it that when the death of George Floyd happened, riots broke out, chaos was out of hand, and when Charlie was murdered, people were just going out, being calm, praying, and having candles, signal, what was it called? Vigils or something. I don't entirely know what that meant, but there was a major difference between the George Floyd riots and the Charlie Kirk. I don't even think you could call it riots at this point, because I don't even think you could call what happened, what the conservatives did. Let's get back to this.
Right? So by Destiny's own logic I wildly disagree with, then leftists should be afraid for their lives, right? I don't agree with that. That's not how civilized society works. I was trying to find him saying this stuff about Kirk. I know he said it. I just don't know where the clip is here.
I do know the very
No,
reasonable
that's not
sound.
true.
May not want to
You don't
hear
wanna
it,
hear it,
Destiny.
Piers.
But the reality is the investigators, according to the governor of Utah, have established that he was radicalized to a leftist ideology that drove him to murder Charlie Kirk. Now, let me just ask you.
That's just not true.
Let me just
There's
ask
no
you.
way
well,
to deal with it.
Okay.
it is true. Like saying something is not true does not make it untrue. I could say that I'm not fat, but I don't magically stop being fat. This is
it's just the same as the transgenders of all things. Like it's literally the same thing as transgenders, where they will demand you to affirm something that is just not true. For example, trans women, they are a biological man who think they are a woman, and that is where it led to problems for a lot of things. For example, Riley Gaines, a conservative who was very afraid to speak out about Will Thomas, who was a swimmer who could not compete against his own category of men, but chose to be a woman, tried to claim to be a woman, and just cheated. It's really hilarious how things just turn around when the truth comes and shows that people like Destiny are the problem.
It's like a child's rhetoric.
You're accusing the governor of lying. Yeah. That's your prerogative. But sure. If it turns out to have been somebody with a leftist ideology who wanted to shut up Charlie Kirk, would you condemn that?
I won't condemn anything until the president of the United States.
He won't do it anyway.
You won't condemn the murder of Charlie Kirk until Donald Trump says something.
I'm a YouTuber. Leftists and Democrats have been condemning and turning down the temperature, condemning violence, turning down the temperature.
No, they haven't been. You mean Hassan Piker saying let the streets run with their blood?
For a decade.
No, they
Donald
haven't.
Trump can't go on TV and say, all of us need to calm down.
Right.
Can you tell me why he cannot?
Why
tell
would you
his
expect
side to calm
anybody,
down?
Destiny?
You can't answer that. Can you answer that question? Why can't
Can
Trump
you
go
answer
on TV
this
and say,
question?
all of us should be less violent?
Why do you
can't
think
Trump say that?
Why do you
Why
think
is your behavior contingent on Donald Trump?
Insane right now.
Why do you think? No,
your
let me
behavior
ask a
contingent
question.
on Donald Trump?
Let me
Why
ask
is
a
that?
question.
Because he's the president of the United States of America and the leader of the opposing political party.
Let me
You
just,
have a huge audience of young men who listen to everything you have to say. So when it doesn't.
What does him being a YouTuber have to do with anything? It's one of the most irrelevant things that he could ever say out of his dumbass mouth. I cannot tell you how infuriating hearing people like Destiny be a thing. It is insane to keep bringing people like him on platforms like Piers Morgan. It is so insufferable that people like Destiny just get platformed, and that no one realizes that every time he talks, what else is to be expected? Being a YouTuber has nothing to do with the fact that he has a lot of followers of young men who are being so extremely radicalized to go commit acts of violence because his political opponent, Donald Trump, or probably his secret lover. I bet you he is probably a suck-up simp for Donald Trump. He's just probably paid to be unhinged. I mean, who knows? It's really baffling that we are in this day of age where you have people like Destiny just going on unhinged rants.
Matter. You have a huge audience, and because of the fact that you have a huge audience, you have a responsibility to not turn. No, it hasn't. It hasn't been broken. I actually care about the country and want to bring people together. You do the opposite. You represent the worst of us, Destiny.
Lash out the crimes that.
Well, apparently it's not in that clip, but he did say it. There's other clips of it. Of course, Destiny calls for conservatives to be afraid to lose their lives. Hassan saying, I don't care. People don't care. He conflated being upset about Charlie Kirk's murder to be the same as the Cracker Barrel drama. I mean, again, this is...
I'm going to give you this designer bag.
Yeah, I mean, it is just so bad. Like, I am very, very so less tolerant to even deal with people like Destiny anymore. Anyone who is not willing to even be calm enough to properly have a conversation about anything, you are not worth my time.
Insane. And there are real calls now to have these guys permanently banned. I don't want them banned for saying things I don't like. But I think both individuals have a long history of calls to violence, which is not protected by the First Amendment. I think both individuals have a long history of radicalizing young men. And so I would not shed a tear if either one of them were banned. But I don't think that would be a symbolic victory. Okay. They would just go to Kick or whatever and keep streaming, first of all. Second of all, somebody younger, better looking would just take their place and spread even more aggressive rhetoric. We have tweets that have hundreds of thousands of likes on them, 200, 300, 400,000 likes, celebrating the death of a Christian man. This is not a small portion of society that needs fixing. This is millions of Americans who are so brain rot, who are so propagandized that there is actually no fixing them. I believe this. Jesus would tell me nobody's beyond saving, but I am not Jesus, and I've been to church one time in a row. Okay, so I'm not as powerful in my belief as maybe someone who's been going to church.
I should be going to church more. I wish I was not scheduled to work on weekends, because then if I was, I'd be going to church more. But nope, my main full paying job has to schedule me to work on weekends. So church has to come second, unfortunately.
Church for a long time, and hopefully that will change. But there are no saving a large portion of these people.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. There's no reason to save these people. There's no way to save these people. To move on, Hollywood is getting their own taste of karma, where Chris Pratt, who plays as Star-Lord from Marvel, Owen Grady from Jurassic World, Emmett from the Lego Movie, says something. I haven't seen this video yet, so we're going to go ahead and react to what Chris Pratt does.
This is absolutely just a huge contrast to everything that we have seen over the past few days, coming from all these different celebrities.
So, for those who do not know, that is Rosie O'Donnell, who is a Trump-deranged moron who moved out of the country just to get away from Trump, and still to this very day, I have seen videos of this crazy weirdo just be so fixated on Trump. Like, she is Destiny 2.0, just pathetically weak. Super weak.
Celebrities that have been saying some of the most vile, horrific things possible in the light of what happened to Charlie Kirk last week. And Chris Pratt is doing the complete opposite of everything that they are doing. And honestly, I think that what Chris Pratt says here is exactly what we all need to hear, especially in the time that we are in right now after what happened last week.
Hey guys, just stop real quick and pray with me. Lord, you say, be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. In this moment, please, Lord, calm my restless mind. Quiet my anxious heart. Help me set aside distractions and choose what gives life and gives peace. Isaiah 26:3, you keep in perfect peace those whose minds are stayed on you. Lord, fill me with strength to turn my attention toward you, that I find rest and joy in your presence. Amen.
Amen.
Okay.
Like, can you imagine any other actor in Hollywood doing that? Like, dude.
No.
This just shows you that Chris Pratt is operating on a different level from pretty much every other actor out there. Mel Gibson might be the only other exception to what is going on. Zachary Levi is a pretty good one too, but this is what else he had to say about it.
Now, you can continue strolling, or you can turn your phone off and go outside. Might I suggest the latter? Go get some sunshine, go look at a tree, touch some grass, call a friend. If you've got time to be on your phone right now, you've got time to do your to-do list, and you've got time to reach out to somebody in need and share this prayer with them.
The fact that Chris Pratt says go out and touch some grass shows you that he is one of us. He is one of us. He is not cut from the same cloth that many of these celebrities in Hollywood are. And I think that we should all take that and we should all do what Chris Pratt says. I think it would probably be good for all of us. I'm sure that many of us probably are already. But before we do that, before you guys close this video and do what Chris Pratt says to do, I just wanted to close on this video here that Trump posted yesterday, I believe, or a couple days ago, about Charlie Kirk. And this video is just phenomenal. All right, and I think that this is something to just remember. And this is the powerful clip that I just want to end this video on that, just to send you all away with for the rest of the day, okay?
Only in America is it possible to say, you know what, I don't like the way the country is going, and to do something about it. Take that risk. Take that leap of faith. Stay involved. Trust God and act obediently. Romans 12:2 verse. That God will use all things, for good for those who love him. It's bigger than you. I want you to remember that. It is bigger than you. It's bigger than me. You are here to make somebody else's life better, the pursuit of liberty and freedom. You know what gives me strength? The hundreds of thousands of you that say, Charlie, keep going.
1 Corinthians 5 and 15. So that's all pretty amazing evidence, not just intra-biblical evidence, but extra-biblical evidence that Jesus Christ was a real person. He lived a perfect life. He was crucified, died, and rose on the third day, and he is Lord and God of all.
Yeah.
In other news, a 2000...
Charlie, I am going to miss you, man. I am going to miss you deeply. Severely. Like, I am going to miss this guy. Like, his death hit me super hard. Like, I cannot tell you how harsh it is. To close off with this video of what we got to do, we're going to react to Yellow Flash talking about how Xbox Game Pass subs are getting canceled over Charlie Kirk hate. I'm not an Xbox gamer. I don't really play Xbox. I do have a 360. I only bought it so I could play Sonic Free Riders to see how bad it really was, as people proclaimed it was. And this is going to be interesting because boycotts are very powerful. Voting with your wallet is a very effective tool because no sooner than when Joe Biden was in office, we had a lot of woke ideological nonsense being shoved down our throats. For example, Bud Light. Pushing a biological man who thinks is a woman, honestly, this person was so crazy. Like, I honestly thought this person was from a horror movie or something. Dylan Mulvaney, I have not heard anything about this guy in months. Nothing about Dylan Mulvaney has ever popped up anywhere since he got kicked off of a lot of things. For example, the advertisement through Bud Light was was such cringe. It was just like, what are you doing? Then, of course, we had Target, where they decided to push Pride Month LGBT anything on as closest to the entrance, just to push it on kids, and it backfired, and people voted for their wallets, and Target was failing. And then, of course, the most recent thing that has been what happened was that the CEO of a business called Cracker Barrel decided to completely change their sign and change their business to fit the more modern day lifestyles. And the Cracker Barrel case was something that I didn't really care much about because it was something that I did not really know much about, other than it was like, that's a business? I never even heard about this. So, to get back to the details here, we're going to go ahead and react to this and listen to what Yellow Flash has to say about boycotting Xbox because of the hate for Charlie Kirk.
Bethesda, a studio owned by Xbox. Responsible for these recent games: Starfield, Doom, Elder Scrolls. There's a new one coming, but of course there is the recent Oblivion remaster. Then, of course, 45 different versions of Skyrim, Fallout, new television show for Fallout coming. I think December season 2 Fallout comes out. Popular show. I won't be watching it. Actually liked the first season. I know some people don't. I thought it was okay. I'm done with Bethesda. Indiana Jones, Wolfenstein, so many franchises under their belt. Now, Indiana Jones has DLC, Order of the Giants. I was going to pick that DLC up. I'm in a game right now, and I have another one to play after that, but I was planning on going back to Indiana Jones and playing the DLC. That won't be happening because they decided to put this tweet out in response to people calling out a longtime producer there who decided to attack Charlie Kirk fans. So they put this tweet out, deleted it, where this kitty gets a remark from Indiana Jones.
Oh. Nice place. You don't care much about these fascists, do you?
Now, they knew exactly what they were doing there, and some people are trying, they were just promoting the game. They know what they were doing. And you're being disingenuous by saying that they didn't do this totally intentionally. That's why they deleted it. No response from them, by the way.
Cowards.
But they're getting reminded about what's going on here left and right. If you just look up their account and go to it, they are getting eaten alive. Here is a tweet from September 13th. It's just promoting Order of Giants. Everybody on here is just eating them alive. Letting them know, we're not going to put up with that shit. You actually have people canceling their Game Pass subscriptions because of this. Here's one from Kyle James Olson. Microsoft, you can thank Bethesda for my cancellation. Kudos to the Bethesda team for showing their true colors. And that's a way you can respond to this kind of bullshit. You think that I should be dead for the way that I think? Mm-hmm. You don't need my money then, do you? You don't need my money. Plenty of other options out there. Plenty of other games out there. I've got so...
Yeah, as a video gamer, since I don't really play video games that much, I only have like maybe a few exceptions. For example, I have a PS3, a PS4, a PS5, a Nintendo Wii from 2006, a 360, and of course, my computer. And I am a hard, extreme advocate for physical media. I prefer to own my games. I prefer that playing online should not cost a penny. And it's frustrating how consoles like Xbox or PlayStation had to go pivot away from that field of practice, because it's literally the definition of the ability to play with friends without any kind of restriction. And I have mostly been against buying any kind of form of pass, especially when it came to something like playing for PlayStation Plus or Xbox Pass or whatever. But thanks to Sonic Crossworlds, it came to the point where I think I might just drop myself like as the cheapest payment option for just a month, and that's it. Like, I'm not going to pay such high levels for it, like a whole year's worth of paying for PlayStation Plus. I'm not going to do that because I have better games to play. Like, for example, offline mode of Sonic Racing Crossworlds. I don't really plan to play online that much, but after playing the online network test, it's a consideration that I'll actually play online. But it's come down to where the violence that I have seen is just out of hand.
So many games in my backlog right now. It's crazy. Because I've been very busy this year. I don't have a lot of time, but there's a lot of games I want to play. Like, I could easily probably spend the next 2 years just going through my backlog, and I'm okay with that, actually. There's not a lot out there I really, truly want. I am kind of interested in Battlefield 6, but, you know, other than that, there's not a lot of new shit on the horizon that I'm really interested in. So this isn't a hard thing for me and many other people to do. Hell, a lot of people aren't even spending money on new games anymore. that's something that's come out recently. A lot of people are buying old games. So keep doing this, Bethesda and other game studios. You're just showing people your true colors. This was a post from Xbox back on the 12th. We're aware of the views expressed by a small subset of our employees regarding recent events. We take matters like this very seriously and are currently reviewing each individual situations. Comments celebrating violence against anyone are unacceptable and do not align with our values. Well, it seems like you were totally okay with what Bethesda did.
Microsoft, you better fix that, because I cannot tell you how bad it's going to be. Like, if you cannot fire these people, like, it has been going on for the past few days that people that are supporting the Charlie's death and refusing to service for people who are trying to create memorials for Charlie are getting fired. That needs to happen. These people do not belong in society. They are too far gone to be in society.
This is a tweet for show. A lot of people coming in here and posting the stuff about Bethesda, by the way. And as Madam Savvy says here, a small subset, excuse me? No, it's not a small subset. Now, some websites have covered this. Most people are ignoring it in the gaming industry. That shouldn't surprise anybody. But like I said, this is all spilling over into pretty much everything that is going on in the gaming industry. If you go, or not the gaming industry, but attached to Bethesda here. So here is their latest video. It was put out 11 days ago, just promoting Doom: The Dark Ages. They put official full cinematics on here in 4K. Most of the recent comments are all about them being nasty pieces of shit with that tweet. Spitting on the grave of a young father who died for expressing his opinions, you are the evil that you think you're fighting against. These are all people responding in kind to that bullshit that they posted. And I say good.
Did you forget to buy a birthday gift?
Honestly, I am at the point where this is just gone bad. It is just so bad that we have to see this. There's just so much news out there that's been happening that I've been wanting to keep up with what's been going on, and my message to anybody who thinks it's okay for the death of someone like Charlie Kirk, or for whether politically disagree, or even disagree on anything, go fuck yourself. I do not give a flying shit anymore. You're impossible to debate. You're impossible to reason with. You are the very reason why I am not going to put up with it. And I bet, do not be afraid to share this. Do not be afraid to tell the truth. Do not hesitate to share what is going on. I cannot tell you how infuriating all this has been doing to me since I even heard about it 6 days ago. I have been losing my mind since then. It's been already a whole week since the assassination, and things are just breaking out in full-blown panic chaos mode. So, I am going to continue on what I do, and I want you guys to just understand that regardless whether we politically disagree or whether we do agree on something or disagree on something, we should not be advocating for the murder of someone we disagree with. I certainly don't. I condemn that behavior. I condemn people that do that kind of shit. And if you think it's okay, just fuck off. I do not care. At this point, I am no longer tolerant. I am now changed. I am no longer going to be the same person I was a while ago, and it's I have just no care anymore. I'm just not the same anymore. So I will See you guys next time. Stay tuned for a live stream for my birthday that's coming up this Saturday. It'll be happening on Friday this week. Also, I will actually I can't even think. I am just far out of this world right now. This Saturday, I will watch the official theme song of my Sonic MLP YouTube series with you guys, whoever plans to participate. So, spread the word, guys. Spread the truth. Tell the truth. Don't be afraid to tell the truth. And just keep fighting on. Fight, guys. Fight for truth. Like, it is not that hard. Do it, guys. All right. I will see you guys next time. Peace out.